Hello students, welcome to lecture 7 of the equilibrium. We have completed all the numerical questions related to equilibrium concentration, equilibrium constant, and now in chemical equilibrium we are dealing with the last part called as Le Chatelier's principle. Name of the scientist, Le Chatelier's principle. Now, why this principle is important? Consider this simple reaction: nitrogen in gaseous state, hydrogen in gaseous state, and it gives 2 moles of ammonia in gaseous state. It is called as Haber's process, because Haber invented this process for the production of ammonia, very important ingredient in fertilizers. And because of more production of ammonia, there was agricultural revolution after World War II. Haber was awarded Nobel Prize for this reaction. Now this is reversible reaction, and there is possibility that nitrogen, hydrogen, which are giving ammonia give back the nitrogen and hydrogen. So this is not desirable, because nitrogen, hydrogen we are adding, and again we are getting nitrogen, hydrogen industrially. This is not profitable. So somehow we want to push this reaction in forward direction, and we want to minimize the reverse reaction, backward reaction. So I have to disturb the equilibrium, and how to disturb that equilibrium is given by this principle, Le Chatelier's principle. Always question has been asked for 1 mark, state Le Chatelier's principle. So what this principle is? The principle is nothing but one statement. If a system in equilibrium, if system means any reaction is in equilibrium, is subjected to change in concentration, pressure, temperature, equilibrium, shift in direction, so as to nullify means to oppose or undo, just like this computer command. We do something, and if we want to reverse it, it is called as undo. Do and reverse is undo, like that. Nullify the change. So it is just like Newton's third law of motion. For every reaction there is a reaction, isn't it? So if you want to disturb the equilibrium by changing conditions like temperature, pressure and concentration, the equilibrium will go in such a direction to oppose the changes made. Why? Because if it opposes the changes made, it can retain its equilibrium position. So equilibrium has this tendency to maintain the status quo, its state, equilibrium state, and if we want to disturb it, again it will shift in a direction to make that changes has to be opposed, or changes has to be neutralized. Now there are 3 things which we can see in the statement that we can make changes in concentration, changes in pressure, changes in temperature, and we can disturb this equilibrium. So we'll start learning first effect of change in concentration, then effect of change of pressure, effect of change of temperature, and we'll try to understand how this principle works. So first we'll learn effect of change of concentration, effect of change of concentration. Now we are changing concentration and see what is the effect. So we'll make this column change equilibrium shift to and reaction which is favored means reaction which takes place more predominant. If we increase the concentration of reactant, the equilibrium will shift to decrease the concentration of reactant, because that's what we mean by nullify the changes rate. And if reactant concentration is to be decreased, means more product formation should take place, means reaction favored is the forward reaction, because if reactant concentration has to be decreased, reactant has to be consumed, and if reactant has to be consumed, more products are formed. More products are formed means reaction will go into the forward direction, more and more products are formed. That's how the equilibrium responds to increasing concentration of reactant. If we decrease the concentration of reactant, the equilibrium will try to increase the concentration of reactant. Exactly opposite what we are doing right. Increasing concentration of the reactant means the reaction will go in backward direction, and the reaction which is favored is the backward. Backward means more reactants are formed out of product. Now see the third change. If we increase the concentration of product, the equilibrium will shift in that direction. Decrease the concentration of product. Decrease the concentration of product means the product are to be consumed and reactants are to be formed. So we can say that the reaction again will go in backward reaction is favored. And if we decrease the concentration of product, the equilibrium will shift to increase the concentration of product. It means forward reaction is favored. So forward reaction means it will go in reactant to product side. Backward means it will go to reactant side. Again backward means towards reactant side. And forward means to product side. So if you want to make the reaction occur in forward direction, what you should do? Either increase the concentration of reactant or decrease the concentration of product. These are the two ways to push the reaction in forward direction. Either increase the concentration of reactant or decrease the concentration of product. Now which one is easier? If you want to increase the concentration of reactant, the reactants are costly, they are chemicals. It is with cost. Of course, you can increase the rate with that. But easier will be to remove the product. For example, this nitrogen in gas state, 3 moles of hydrogen in gas state, 2 moles of ammonia in gas state. As ammonia is formed, remove it from the container. So that reaction will try to increase its concentration and move in the forward direction. So these are the two ways in which the forward reaction is to be favored. Now why it is so? We can understand it mathematically. If we know the Kc here, it is NH3 square nitrogen and hydrogen Q. If we increase the concentration of ammonia, if we increase the concentration, what is the QC here? QC means reaction coefficient. Same thing. NH3 square, nitrogen and hydrogen Q. What is the difference? This is only at equilibrium and this is at any stage. Right. Now increase the concentration of ammonia. Increase the concentration of ammonia. As QC is directly proportional to it, QC increases. And as QC increases, QC and KC is constant, equilibrium concentration. We are disturbing that by increasing concentration of ammonia. If QC increases, QC becomes greater than KC. And we know if QC is greater than KC, reaction takes place in reverse direction. Increase the concentration of ammonia, you get more and more nitrogen and hydrogen. Increase the concentration of product, reaction will go in backward direction. Now, increase the concentration of nitrogen. Increase the concentration of nitrogen. Here. What will happen to QC? QC will decrease because they are inversely proportional. Inversely proportional. If QC decreases, QC is less than KC and the reaction will go in a forward direction. So increase the concentration of nitrogen and reaction will go into the forward direction. Now increase the concentration of hydrogen. As hydrogen concentration and QC are inversely proportional, we can say that what happened to the QC? It will decrease. QC become less than KC and the reaction will move into the forward direction. So more and more ammonia will be formed. So these are few cases I have explained here. Why the reaction go either in forward or backward direction? Because the QC is either equal to either greater than KC or less than KC. And that's why reaction prefer either forward direction or the reverse direction. And in that way, the rate of reaction forward or backward can be increased. Till what? Till equilibrium is reached. As KC is greater than QC, then this QC is less, so it will increase, and then QC and KC becomes equal and equilibrium will form like that. But as they are not equal, the reaction may either move in forward direction or it may move in the backward direction. That is the effect of changing concentration. We can change the concentration of reactant or product and we can shift the reaction either in forward direction or the reverse direction. That is the application of this Le Chatelier's principle. So very important application, because in MCQs also question will be asked. In which direction the reaction will move? Forward direction is products are more formed. Backward direction is more reactants are like that. You already know it because we are talking about this direction since the first class of equilibrium. So this is the change in concentration effect. Increase the concentration of reactant will go in, the reaction will go in forward direction. Increase the concentration of product and the reaction will go into the reverse direction. That table I have just now explained. Now another is the effect of change of pressure. In that we have to consider one condition here. H2 in gaseous state, iodine in gaseous state, and it forms 2 moles of hydrogen iodide in gaseous state. Delta Mg for this reaction is equal to 2 minus 1 plus 1, that is equal to 0. So no change in equilibrium by change in pressure. If reaction is such that delta N equals to 0, then there is no change in the equilibrium. We can't change pressure and we can't move this reaction either to the forward and reverse. When delta H is equal to 0. If delta H is not equal to 0, yes, pressure will play a very important role. What type of role? If delta Ng is not equal to 0, it means delta Ng is either positive or negative, then it will play an important role. What type of role it will play? When pressure increases, when we increase the pressure, equilibrium shift in direction to decrease pressure. That's how we learn. When pressure increases, equilibrium will shift in that direction where the pressure decreases. It means number of moles of gas decreases. For example, if we consider this reaction, PCl5 in gaseous state reversibly gives PCl3 and Cl2 in gaseous state. Now, the number of moles of reactant is 1 mole because here only 1 is written, and 1 plus 1, 2 moles are there. Increase pressure, what will happen? Equilibrium shift in direction to decrease pressure. Decrease pressure means decrease number of moles. And where number of moles are less? 1 is less than 2. That's why we can say equilibrium shift in reverse direction. And we can say that backward reaction is favored because in backward direction the number of moles are less. Why it is so? We are increasing pressure, so equilibrium is bound to shift in that direction when pressure decreases. How we will come to know that pressure has been decreased? PV is equal to nRT. So P is directly proportional to N. If N decreases, P decreases. If N increases, P increases, like that. It's directly proportional to number of moles. So pressure has to be decreased means number of moles has to be decreased. And where number of moles are less? In the reactant. That's why the reaction is like that. Now consider this reaction. Nitrogen in gaseous state plus hydrogen in gaseous state reversibly gives 2 NH3 in gaseous state. This is 2 mole and this is 4 mole. Increase the pressure. Pressure increase. Equilibrium shift in direction to decrease pressure. Decrease pressure means decrease number of moles. Which reaction is having less number of moles? Product, or we can say forward. So we can say forward reaction is favored. So if you want to have more and more ammonia out of this, what is your parameter in your hand? You increase the pressure and reaction will go to the forward direction. Decrease the pressure, the reaction will go into the reverse direction. So try to understand where the reaction is moving by changing the parameters, because this is very important thing to know. Now we will try to understand this mathematically, because that will be more logical to understand. We can say Kp equals to pressure of ammonia square, pressure of nitrogen, pressure of hydrogen cube. We say that pressure of ammonia increases, or we will consider this volume wise. Volume decreases means pressure increases. Volume decrease 2 times pressure increase 2 times because they are inversely proportional. And if pressure increases, then we can consider this as, if we increase the pressure of NH3, QP is greater than KP. QP is greater than KP, reaction will go into the reverse direction. Increase the pressure of nitrogen, QP will be less, QP is less than KP, reaction will go in forward direction. Increase the pressure of hydrogen, increase in pressure of hydrogen, QP decreases, QP is less than KP, KP is more than QP, reaction will go in forward direction. So increase the pressure of hydrogen, increase the pressure in nitrogen, go in forward direction. Increase the pressure of ammonia, go into the reverse direction. In that way, you can understand the effect of pressure. Only thing is that pressure will affect the reaction. Only number of reactant, gaseous reactant should be different than the product. If they are equal, pressure has no role to play. So this is one of the important parameter to change the equilibrium. Now third is effect of change of temperature. Effect of change of temperature. Now it go in two ways. If the reaction is endothermic and if the reaction is exothermic, see how it goes. If reaction is endothermic, temperature increases. Increase the temperature. Endo means heat is required. You are giving heat, heat is required. The equilibrium constant will increase. And that's why we can say forward reaction favored. Favored means reaction is going to the forward direction. Temperature decrease, equilibrium constant decrease, equilibrium constant decrease, reverse reaction favored. The reverse is for exothermic. Increase the temperature. Exo means heat is released. Heat is released and you are giving the temperature. What happened to the rate constant? It will decrease. It will decrease means reverse reaction favored. And decrease the temperature, rate constant will increase, means forward reaction is favored. So this is the effect of the temperature on the rate constant. It go in different ways in endothermic reaction, exothermic reaction. So what is the effect of catalyst? We'll say catalyst has no effect on equilibrium because it will increase the forward reaction and backward reaction in the same way. It has no partiality either for forward or reverse reaction. It is impartial. That's why catalyst has no role in disturbing the equilibrium. And last one factor, effect of addition of inert gases. In inert gases addition, there are two cases. At constant pressure, if we add inert gas, volume increases because we are adding inert gas to it. As volume increases, N by V decreases. It means N decreases and equilibrium shift to increase the N. Equilibrium will shift in that direction when number of moles are greater because number of moles are decreasing. Why they are decreasing? Number of moles per unit volume decreasing. Why? Because volume increasing. Why volume is increasing? Because we are adding the inert gases. What will be its impact when it is added at constant volume? At constant volume, we have to say no change in equilibrium, because when it is added to constant volume, the partial pressure of reactant and products, they are same. Concentration no change, then equilibrium is also not changed. So these are some 5 factors. We can make one table here and we can add all those factors in that table, and we have to remember that table, because in various ways this table can be asked. Read it once again from notes and listening once again and understand what is the effect of change in concentration, pressure, temperature and addition of inert gases. How equilibrium responds, how equilibrium gets shifted. So what the table I am talking about? See this table. In one column, I will write stress. Stress means change. In another column, I will write direction, in which equilibrium shifts. So first stress I am writing here. Increasing concentration of reactant. We know what happens to equilibrium. It will go in a forward direction. Increasing concentration of product. It wants to decrease, and that's why it goes into the reverse direction or backward direction. Just what we learn some summary of that. Increase in temperature. Reaction will go in that direction where the endothermic reaction takes place, because that requires temperature. Decreasing temperature, and we can say it goes into that direction where exothermic reaction takes place. We'll take some questions and we'll understand this in a better way. Fifth one is increase in pressure. Increase in pressure. How equilibrium responds? Towards lesser number of gases responds. Towards lesser number of gas response. Means where number of moles of gases are less, there it shifts. Decrease in pressure towards larger number of gas response. And the seventh one is the addition of catalyst. And we will say here no effect. And the eighth one is addition of inert gas. And we have two cases here. First one is at constant volume. And we say no effect. And at constant pressure. At constant pressure towards larger number of gases moles. Towards larger number of gaseous moles. In that way, this stress means changes made, and the direction is where that equilibrium will go. We can understand this table, and we can easily predict whether the reaction going forward direction is towards product, reverse direction is towards the reactant. In that way, we can identify forward direction in this way, reverse direction in this way. Endothermic means delta H is positive, exothermic means delta H is negative. Lesser number of gaseous moles means Ng is less, more means Ng is more, and here we can say Ng is more. In that way also we can easily understand. So these are the conditions. Try to understand the Le Chatelier's principle statement, various effect, and this table, because we have to use this concept in so many questions. We'll take in next class, and you can see the MCQ material given. Many questions are on this particular concept. So this is very important concept. Try to understand this. Thank you for watching video.